guys, good afternoon. So we are here at ENBNHS and today we will do our first vlog ever. Yes, our first vlog ever on our subject in creative nonfiction. So I am here with my group mates and we will share our insight about some of the issues happening in our country. The universe rather, charot.
So, bali, i-present namin yung reflection and testimonial essay namin, which is all about the Taal eruption, which has happened recently on January 12th. And our testimonial essay is all about the song of Gary, Granada, the Manggagawa, which depicts the life of ordinary workers.
So wag na tayong magpatublik-tublik pa, and let's get ready.
Okay, before anything else, let us have first the question and answer portion sa mga students kung talagang aware sila sa mga nangyayari. Unahin muna natin ang aming reflection essay about the Taal eruption. So, let's go!
Okay, so, Kuya, alam mo ba kung anong nangyari sa Batangas noong January 12?
Hindi ko alam
Ano ba yan? Hindi ka nakikinig ng news?
Sorry.
Kasi yun. Ano yung nangyari nung January 12?
Ewan. Hindi ko alam.
Ano yung pumutok?
Bulkan.
Oh, very good.
Oh, yeah.
Wait lang, meron akong question. So, how many active volcanoes in the Philippines?
Two.
Ha? Ano ba yan? Wala kang pinag-aralan sa science? Ano yung pinag-aralan natin? Well, where is the location of Taal volcanoes? Magbibigay ako ng multiple choice. A. Batangas, B. Manila, C. Nueva Ecija, D. Marawi. Ano?
May volcano?
Hindi, Taal volcano.
Batangas.
Very good.
So ayun, tapos ang aming question and answer portion and today, we will also impart our insights and reflection about the Taal eruption.
Our title is Everything's Gone in the Blink of an Eye. Taal volcano is perhaps one of the most well-known and easily recognizable volcanoes in the Philippines. It presents as one of the most picturesque tourist attraction and the second most active volcano in the Philippines, with 35 recorded historical eruptions. The volcano has had several violent eruptions with the past causing loss of life on the island and the populated areas surrounding. The lake with the death toll estimated at about 6,000. Lately, this January 12, 2020, history repeats itself. Taal volcano roared to life and began erupting, spewing lava and huge plume of ash up to 14 kilometers. Into the air, triggering the mass evacuation of 300,000 people from the area. The toxic ash and smoke reeking of sulfur and other noxious gases have transferred to the verdant island, a popular tourist spot in the vast carpet of life gray. Its bleak prospect faced by many families in Batangas and Cavite who lost their homes and livelihoods. For the victims, it was a hideous night.
Such times of crisis, it's good that the sense of generosity and cooperation of Filipinos are somehow shown in response to the calls for help and assistance. Government, NGO, and different agencies work together to provide shelters with mats, foods, water, clothing, and hygiene kit to the victims. Neighboring locals help in donating free face masks. Governors, mayors, and local chief executives also convene their disaster risk reduction and management councils and instantly activate their incident management teams, network operations center, and other disaster response teams. Even the President himself, President Rodrigo Duterte, visited evacuees in Batangas City on January 14 and pledged to provide financial assistance worth 130 million to the affected residents. Also, even some of us had at least made a modest contribution by donating clothes and food sent from the church that will be then rendered to the victims of the Taal eruption.
Nevertheless, the eruption still remains a life-threatening for the victims, and as a student, one of our part is to engage in a kind of discourse that encourage critical optimism in times of darkness. We highly encourage everyone to take precaution at all times. Those who are living in the danger areas should evacuate to safer grounds immediately. Bring animals and livestock to designated evacuation areas. Avoid from returning just only to retrieve belongings and save the poultry and cattle. Continue listening to local news for updated information and instructions. Follow any evacuation order issued by the authorities and put your emergency plan into action. More importantly, despite on what is happening, always pray to God and still give thanks for His gratefulness that no one has been killed from the volcanic eruption, for the rescue of villagers, for the safe evacuation of 300,000 people from the danger zone, and for the care and love showed for one another. As the Bible verse said, God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the mountains falls into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, and the mountains quake with their surging. Let's go naman sa aming reflection essay.
For a short background, Manggagawa is titled of Gar Granada's single from his Pagsamba and Pakikibaka album in 1988. The word in Filipino refers to the ordinary workers. The song, as title implies, speaks of the state of condition of the ordinary workers in a society. It focuses on the workers who are among the poor and unprivileged people. The song, in a nutshell, elucidates the representation on the poor living of workers finding for job. From reading the context of the song, we have grasped the theme and its importance regarding on the lives of poor workers and impact of poverty. It represents the views on the social status and the problem created by its subsequent uneven minimum wage position, the living condition of the unprivileged workers. The word and the melody as put together by the narrators speaks of the other side of the grandiose we see in an urban environment.
It had opened our sense of involvement to the problem that those poor and homeless working in an industry, even though they keep working for centuries, the whole day, hardworking, sacrificing all the time, even for seconds, they still receive infinitesimally amount of pay, and their presence are not being noticed and cared for. It is the struggle for the rights and the consequent social inequity of poor among rich people. Poor workers, due to lack of opportunity and social status in life, they only tend to work for small factories and search for a job in every corner of the world, which wage depends on their status and not on their productivity and performance in working. It is one of the situations in society that need to be addressed and need to take action, because we really disagree on things that ordinary workers are seen as nothing like waste and only acquire fewer advantage, privilege, opportunities, and being deprived because of economic condition. Not only to the ordinary workers but to the whole workers or employees out there seeking for job, who experience maltreatment and abuse and having problem on the improper account of salary or wage.
We believe that hand in hand we can achieve change. That's why we suggest that the government should respond to this kind of circumstance, and not only to the government but also to the public institution, policymakers, civil society leaders, private sectors, and we, the citizens of our country. They should help in compiling resources for an advocacy towards the right and protection of ordinary workers. Comprehensive and proactive strategies are needed to provide oversight of labor agencies on abusive employers and improper giving of pay to the workers.
As a student, we also personally think that there should be just and fair set of minimum work pay and the standard that the employers must adhere to. For we cannot deny that in our society, we can see and observe that ordinary workers, including those unskilled, disabled, and poor families, they are entitled lower wage due to their deficiency in terms of physical trainings and skills. That's why we pose that there should be no discrimination and no basis on the status among ordinary workers. We stand for that there should be reform and development on the minimum wage because we believe that a worker is worth a certain amount regardless of the work they are able to do. The minimum wage must be provided not merely for the bare subsistence of life, but also for the preservation of efficiency of the workers by providing for some measures of education, medical requirement, and amenities reinforced by the Minimum Wage Act of 1948. This can be a great help for those poor families and pave the way in creating efficiency in our economy. It is about time to suppress this kind of issue, and we hope that everyone, especially the government, would recognize ordinary workers as a genuine worker and grant them all the rights that come with the status. This hopefully will resolve the problem that a worker should not be seen or used in isolation but should be treated equally with the right for equal remuneration of equal value. Okay, so this is the end of our vlog and thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye!